Okay guys, so yesterday I asked you to look at this problem and finish it for homework. So we need to make sure that we find the unknown, define the variable, and then write an equation as well as the solution and finding the solution. So Caitlin has $10 gift certificate to the music store. She has chosen a number of CDs from the $7 bargain bin. If the cost of the CDs is $32 after the gift certificate is credited, how many CDs can Caitlin buy? Okay. So when we're doing this, we need to make sure that we're identifying the key parts. Okay. So our key parts, she has a $10 gift certificate to spend. The CDs are $7 each from the bargain bin. And the cost is $32 after the gift certificate. Okay? And they want to know how many CDs did Caitlin buy. Okay? So, that's our unknown. Okay? So how many CDs did Caitlin buy? So, we can define the number of CDs by C. Now, they're $7 each. Okay. Now, when you have a gift certificate, that gets taken off your value. Okay. So we need to subtract 10 from the value of our CDs, and that is going to equal 32. So we have to be really careful about what operation we're using in between our variable term and our constant term. So 7C minus 10 equals 32. We're going to add 10 to both sides. 10s cancel. 7C is equal to 42. Another upside down t, divide by 7. So C equals 6. So 6 CDs. So Caitlin is able to buy 6 CDs to add to her collection. So today we're going to focus on writing equations, but we're going to look at, instead of writing the equations with multiplication, we're going to look today at writing equations with division. So Jason spent half of his allowance going to the movies. Okay? So he spent half. Okay? So that's important, him spending half. He washed the family car and earned $6. What is his weekly allowance if he ended with $12? Okay. So our unknown is what his weekly allowance is. We don't know what that is. Okay? We know he spent half of it, but we don't know what the weekly value is. So we can define A is equal to his weekly allowance. Now, if he spent half, that means that we're going to take our allowance and divide it by 2. He earned $6. And he ended up with $12. Okay. Spent half, earned 6 back, ended up with 12. So we're going to take our equation, A divided by 2 plus 6 equals 12. Okay. So again, just like we talked about last week, we have to add or subtract first before we multiply and divide. So here comes our upside down t. 6 is being subtracted. So the inverse of subtraction, 6 is being added, so we need to subtract it from both sides. Our 6's cancel, we're left with 0. So we bring down our variable term. A divided by 2 equals 6. So A is being divided by 2. So the inverse of dividing by 2 is multiplying by 2. So I'm going to multiply by 2 on the left and multiply by 2 on the right. My 2's cancel because they're inverse operations, and I'm left with A is equal to 12. So that means that $12 is the allowance. Here's another one. Tim sold half his comic books and then bought 8 more. He now has 14. How many did he begin with? Okay, so again, important parts. He sold half, then bought 8 more. Okay. He now has 14. Okay. So figuring out what the numbers are and what they mean in the equation is part of what we need to do when we're modeling. Okay. So our unknown, how many did he have? Did he begin with? Okay, we don't know how many he began with. We know he sold half, then bought 8 and ended up with 14, but we don't know how many he began with. Okay. So our variable, C for comic books. Okay. Now if he sold half, that means we're taking our collection and giving half away. So when we give half away, that means we need to divide. So C divided by 2. He bought 8 more, so we're going to add 8 to his collection, and he ended with 14. So I want you to pause your video and try and solve C divided by 2 plus 8 equals 14. So thank you for pausing your video. We're going to do C divided by 2 plus 8 equals 14. So again, add or subtract before we multiply or divide. So we're going to draw our upside down T. 8 is being added, so we need to subtract it. C is being divided by 2, so we need to multiply by 2. So C equals 12. So that means that Tim started with 12